What's good, YouTube? It's your boy D-Rip. Hey, today we got another special video. Today we're going to be reacting to 10 moments that define pure cinema. Stay in school. But look, first on click on to make sure I go ahead and subscribe because we're almost at 4K. Once we hit that 4K, we're going up to 5K because once we hit 5K, I'll be stepping foot in the actual ring, doing some actual training with some actual wrestlers. So, yeah, I already got it set up, man. I just need y'all to go ahead and continue to subscribe, continue to show support. I apologize for last week, as I said in my last video, because this is not the first video I recorded in the same day right now. Last week, my computer died from a power surge as I was uploading a video for y'all, and I can't get it because I can't even turn the computer on. It won't even turn on. So I'm using my laptop that I used to use last year. It works, alright? As long as y'all able to see this, that's all that matters. So we gotta go back to what we came from, back to the roots, and we're gonna have to probably either get a new PC or we're gonna have to get this one fixed. I don't know, but I'm very upset because I got a lot of stuff on there. But anyway, without further ado, man, let's get into this video, bro.
This is Cinema meme has become one of the most popular memes on social media over the past couple of years, and it's finally transitioned into the world of pro wrestling. The meme can be used for a scene in a movie or a standout moment from a TV show. However, when it comes to wrestling, it's traditionally used when a memorable, seemingly iconic moment takes place.
I ain't gonna lie, that Bloodline stuff was very interesting.
WWE moments that were pure.
It died down a lot though.
Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell.
Alright, wrestling, let's get into this.
11 shook the wrestling world comes out of retirement. In 2011 shook the wrestling world to its core.
It did.
Edge was forced to retire as world champion.
It definitely did shock everybody because we never thought we would see Edge in the ring again, but due to that virus we had, we didn't get to see Randy versus Edge at a WrestleMania the way we wanted to.
Due to severe neck problems, and it seemed like an impossibility that the rated R superstar would ever wrestle again. But fast forward to the 2020 Royal Rumble, and Edge's music hits, and he entered the match as a surprise entrant. The sheer shock of fans and attendants turned to a sense of joy and fulfillment as Edge was finally back in WWE.
I was watching live.
It was hard to watch Edge's return without getting emotional, and it was clear that Edge himself was struggling to hold it all together. Edge was now ready to go, and he was ready to finish his career in the squared circle on his own terms. Number 9, the Texas Rattlesnake strikes again. WWE made up for a disappointing WrestleMania 16 with a critically acclaimed Backlash event. The Backlash pay-per-view in 2000 was outstanding, and it was topped off from the match that should have main evented WrestleMania, that being Triple H versus The Rock for the WWE title. The two had a tremendous match as expected, and it was towards the end of the match in which the entire world got to witness one of the loudest ovations in WWE history.
WrestleMania 2000, they said? That's what he said, right? That's what he said, I think. Anyway, I might have to go and watch. He said, oh no, he said Backlash, never mind. But I might have to go and watch that because he said one of the greatest ovations. Y'all know I love me a good crowd.
Stone Cold Steve Austin will make his return to WWE following his neck surgery, and he would assist The Rock in overcoming the McMahon-Helmsley faction. It was a wonderful moment and arguably one of the most iconic returns of the entire Attitude Era. The Rock would then go on to win the title and drink a beer with his former arch-rival as Backlash 2000 went off the air.
Backlash 2000.
Number 8, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn main event WrestleMania. Heading into WrestleMania 39, there was a ton of debate as to which match should main event night 1 of the show. It was reported that WWE wanted Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair to close out night 1, yet fans were endlessly Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the
This had to be the main event. Had to be. Especially, plus it ended. It had to be ending.
Usos close out the show. The main reason for this was because the story between the four men was unbelievable, and it was the right move to see the hottest story in the company close out night 1 of the biggest show of the year.
In the company and wrestling.
WWE listened, and the four men got the nod to close out the show. The match was excellent, and it resulted in Owens and Zayn becoming undisputed tag team champions. The final shot of night 1 of WrestleMania 39 featured the two celebrating, and it was beautiful to watch as both men deserved this special moment in the spotlight. Number 7, Becky Lynch confronts Ronda Rousey. At the start of 2019, Becky Lynch was one of the most popular stars in WWE.
I don't remember this.
Popularity led to Lynch and Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey's eventual showdown being one of the most anticipated in recent memory. The two would finally face off at a heated confrontation in January of 2019 on Raw after Lynch had won the Women's Royal Rumble. The crowd were mesmerized by this segment, and the face-off between the two women should have been a still shot that sold WrestleMania. Unfortunately, whilst this moment was utter magic, the WWE had to ruin the legacy of this moment by adding Charlotte Flair to their WrestleMania 35 encounter.
Oh my God,
This
Vince,
initial
stop
showdown
it!
Between Lynch and Rousey is one of the most iconic segments WWE have ever delivered. Number 6, Daniel Bryan.
Why don't they just get Ronda Rousey a manager? Why they won't just get her a manager? Like, modern wrestling is all about being able to talk on a mic. Ronda Rousey has definitely gotten better, but she wasn't good at all. We all know that. So why didn't they get her a manager? Why didn't they find somebody to talk for her?
Stands tall. WrestleMania 30 was built heavily.
This right here, this was good.
Bryan had emerged as a default top babyface of the WWE, and despite WWE's desire to see Bryan in an alternative role, WWE fans were adamant that Bryan was their guy. WrestleMania 30's opening contest would see Bryan defeat Triple H, and this allowed Bryan to be added to the main event title match between Randy Orton and Batista. The main event match was fantastic, and it culminated in Bryan making Batista tap out to become WWE Champion. WrestleMania 30 would go off the air with Bryan celebrating with the two world titles as confetti fell down to the ground. It was a beloved moment, and it was special not just because WWE finally listened to the fans, but also because Bryan was someone who truly deserved it.
Yeah, he
He was
did.
one of the hardest workers in the entire company, and him closing out WrestleMania 30 in this manner was the culmination of his resilience, sacrifice, and endless dedication.
That right there, honestly, I say probably one of the top 10 best WrestleMania moments. When I say WrestleMania moments, I'm talking about celebration moments. I'm just gonna say that. I'm not gonna say moments as in matches, because it was a good match though. It was a good match. I'm not gonna put it top 10 though. The celebrations with all the confetti and what all that happened to Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson for my AEW people right now, he deserved that.
Number 5, The Game returns. WWE took a huge blow in 2001 when their resident top heels Triple H went down with a serious quadricep injury. This meant that the Game missed all of the infamous Invasion storylines, and his presence was definitely missed during the storyline itself. Triple H finally returned to WWE TV in early 2002 on Raw, and the Game received a colossal reaction. The Game returned in front of a packed house at Madison Square Garden, and the pop itself has been labeled as one of the biggest pops in the history of Raw.
Really?
Came into the ring, it was evident
Why every time I do a pop video, then this clip ain't never on it? Every time I do a reaction to a pop, he ain't on it.
that he was stunned by this reaction.
So how's it the greatest?
All the last
One of the greatest.
WWE fans had seen the Game, he was a detestable heel, but now the fans were unanimously cheering in admiration of him. According to Triple H himself in his book titled Making the Game, he was trying really hard not to burst into tears, but when he got back through the curtain, the emotion overcame him. When I got back through the curtain and I made sure I was out of sight, I lost it. I was bawling. Certainly not out of sadness, it was an appreciation. The whole ordeal was just so emotional for me. What I'd gone through, what I almost lost, the appreciation the fans showed me, it all just hit me at once and I lost it.
I would've lost it too, I ain't gonna lie.
Of Jimmy Uso. The Bloodline saga has dominated WWE for 3 years, and in that time, WWE have expertly crafted a critically acclaimed storyline that
Oh
resulted
yeah, Sammy and Jay. Okay, that's what he's talking about.
consistently high ratings and a ton of lapsed fans being reintroduced to the WWE product. There have been several moments throughout the saga that could have made the cut for this video, and in reality a top 10 could be delivered just on the saga itself. One of the moments which sent fans into a frenzy came at the end of 2023 Night of Champions event. During the main event match, which pitted Roman Reigns teaming with Solo Sikoa to take on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, Jimmy
Why he was
Uso
walking
decided
like that?
enough was enough, and he decided to stand up.
Oh, never mind. I said the wrong thing.
Usos interfered in the match, and when they attempted a super kick on Zayn, Zayn moved out of the way, and the kick intentionally hit.
This was a good moment too.
Upon seeing this, Reigns was infuriated, and he shoved both of the Usos. But this was the exact moment in which Jimmy decided to stand
Jimmy
his
lost
ground,
it.
and he delivered 2 game-changing super kicks to The chaotic situation allowed Zayn and Owens to take advantage by hitting the stunner and haluva kick combination on Sikoa to win the match. The bloodline was disintegrating before everyone's eyes, and it was the WWE at its very best.
Yeah.
Number 3.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't know whose idea that match was, but they definitely deserve a raise. That was a great match. I think that was one of the best Roman Reigns matches I've watched probably ever. I mean, he didn't win, but I mean, that was a good match. I mean, I really think that was a really good match, and I can. A lot of y'all could probably agree, or it's just maybe it's just because we haven't seen Roman lose in a long time, and we were just happy to see him finally lose. I don't know, but that was a really good match.
Kofi Mania. Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE title wasn't their original plan for WrestleMania 35, but it ultimately resulted in one of the finest storylines WWE delivered in the PG era. A heel version of Bryan was at the top of his game, and he was bringing out the best out of the always likable Kofi Kingston. The eventual match between the two was exceptional, and it's easy to see why fans thought it should have main evented the show. Kingston eventually managed to get the win, and he would celebrate with his New Day teammates as well as his close family. It was an incredibly touching moment, and it was incredibly satisfying to witness one of the most likable talents in all of WWE finally get his moment. Number 2, Eddie Guerrero becomes the guy. By the time WWE arrived at the No Way Out pay-per-view in 2004, Eddie Guerrero's popularity had skyrocketed. Guerrero was the most beloved babyface in the company, and it was finally time to see him crowned as the top guy on SmackDown. Guerrero would face off against Brock Lesnar in the main event of the show, and the match itself was one of the best matches of the Ruthless Aggression era. The closing moments of the match offered for some tense yet exciting viewing, as Guerrero would counter an F5 from Lesnar into a tornado DDT, and this allowed Guerrero to climb the turnbuckle and deliver a picture-perfect frog splash for the 1-2-3. Guerrero had finally done it. He was the new WWE champion, and the arena erupted.
I do remember seeing this clip, actually.
And Guerrero's emotional response told the whole story. This was a deserved moment for a legendary talent like no other. And number 1, Sami Zayn's betrayal.
Yes! This is definitely deserving number 1. This is definitely deserving number 1. I reacted to this live. I watched this live when it happened. This is at a Royal Rumble, right?
The Bloodline saga was sent into an unexpected direction in 2022 when Sami Zayn joined the faction. Zayn brought a ton of depth to the group, as Zayn was notoriously an outstanding worker, but he also had incredible comedic talents, which resulted in him almost making the members of the faction break character on live TV. When the Bloodline began to feud with Kevin Owens, this put Zayn in an awkward position. Zayn and Owens had decorated history, and their friendship was well received, but Zayn had a family in the Bloodline, so he had to try and come to a decision on where his allegiance lied. The main event of the 20...
Yep. So it was at the Royal Rumble. I was watching Royal Rumble live. And the Rumble match nobody cared about this year. Because, first of all, there was no returns. There was only Booker T and Cody Rhodes, where we already knew Cody Rhodes was coming out because it was announced. But definitely deserving of number 1, because that Sami turn, everybody was waiting for it. And it's probably the best thing. Well, it definitely is the best thing that ever happened in any of those guys' career. Because I'm pretty sure that was probably one of the most viewed Royal Rumbles of all time as well. Just like what Survivor Series was the most viewed Survivor Series of all time. I'm sure that Royal Rumble was up there too, because that story was crazy.
2023 Rumble saw Roman Reigns defeat Kevin Owens, and after the match, the entire Bloodline delivered a brutal beatdown to Owens, and Owens would have his arms tied to the ropes. When Reigns attempted to strike a broken and battered Owens with a chair, Zayn intervened and informed Reigns that enough was enough. Reigns then ordered Zayn to be the one to strike Owens with a chair in order to show his allegiance to the faction. A conflicted and tormented Zayn then attacked Reigns with a chair, resulting in one of the biggest crowd ovations in WWE history.
Man, what?
The Bloodline, with the exception of Jey Uso, then proceeded to attack Zayn.
Man.
The show went off the air with Owens.
Man. That was top tier. I don't think they could have did that any better than what they did. But we already know how this ended. If you don't, you got to go see it, man. You have to go see it. Go watch Royal Rumble 2023, and you will see exactly how it went down. But look, first on Congrats channel, let me know how y'all feel about these videos, and continue to subscribe. We're almost at 4K, so continue to subscribe. But hey, like this video, subscribe if you're new. It's your boy D-Rid, man. I'm out.